Hi guys, my name is Tom and I'm the Tech Chap, and welcome to my unboxing and first look at the brand new Microsoft Lumia 950 smartphone. I'm really excited to get my hands on one of these. It's the first Lumia I've used since the 1020, way back when, so I haven't used a Windows phone for a long time. This is my first Windows 10 phone, my first Lumia from Microsoft as opposed to being from Nokia, so I'm very excited to get my hands on one of these. This is the 950. You can also find an unboxing and first look of the 950 XL, the slightly bigger version of this, on my channel right now as well. So this is the smaller 5.2 inch model, and we're going to unbox this and take a look at it and see what's going on inside. So let's put the phone to one side for a moment, see what else we've got going on in here. You've got a little safety info pack, very nice, and we must have a few bits and pieces under here. If I pull this out like so. So we've got the USB Type-C, that's the reversible brand new one, connector, which we've got the cable here, along with the charger, so that obviously plugs into here on the base of the phone. Nice, good to see that Microsoft is using the latest USB Type-C, so it's completely reversible, and also means you get faster data transfer, faster charging, and well, we'll talk about that a bit more in the full review. So let's take the plastic off if we move all the boxes to one side, and then do the best bit of any unboxing, which is take the plastic wrapper off. So I'll be quiet for this. Okay, I made a bit of a pig's ear of that, I suppose. Okay, here we are. So plastic's done, and this is it. This is the new Microsoft Lumia 950. First impressions are okay. It's the rounded corners aren't quite as rounded as some other phones. They feel a tiny bit sharp in the corners, it's sort of digging into your palm a little bit. Actually, it looks smarter than I've read that other people think this is. Some people say that these new phones look a bit sort of a cheap Android phone, but actually in this black color with the sort of silver flourish around the camera lens here, I think it actually looks quite smart. It's quite understated, a bit sort of professional looking maybe. It looks nice. It's actually lighter than I thought it would be. 5.2 inches, so definitely sort of the average size of phone these days. And yeah, I think that looks quite smart. So let's turn this on and have a play with it and see what's going on. So there we are. This is the Windows 10 home screen with the live tiles. Obviously these tiles can be changed the size. There's 3 different sizes for each tile. If we reduce them like so, you can have small... oops, I got rid of that one. Okay, I'll have to get that back somehow. In the meantime, I can't have a big gap there, so let's see if I can increase the size of this one to fill that gap a little bit. Okay, there we go, and let's make Word a little bit bigger because Word's useful, and we can have an annoying gap there. Okay, the thing is, that's one of the things with live tiles. You can make it look really smart, but as soon as you get a gap or something doesn't quite look right, maybe your OCD kicks in, and you got to go, fill it. So let's make the map small, bring it up here like so, and fill that in. Excellent, there we are. But before we go into details about the Windows Phone operating system and the software and what it's like to use, let's just have a look at the device itself generally. This is the 950, not the 950 XL. This is 5.2 inches AMOLED screen, which means it's really nice. The blacks are dark and the whites are rich and white, and the colors are going to be really saturated and vibrant. It's going to be a really nice display. I look forward to using that. So 5.2 inches quad HD, so that's 2560 by 1440. That gives it a pixel per inch density of 565. So it's going to be very, very sharp, and it's the first, I think it's the first quad HD Windows phone. So they've really caught up, Microsoft. This is comparable with all the flagships now. And so going to be very, very sharp, very, very nice screen. So 5.2 inches, that's compared to the 5.7 on the 950 XL, the larger one, which, as I say, you can also find an unboxing on my channel right now. In terms of size and the weight, this is 8.2 millimeters thick, so pretty thin, I think, and relatively compared to other flagship phones. It's also 150 grams heavy. That's 5.29 ounces if you prefer Imperial. So pretty lightweight, pretty thin. I think it fits in your hand quite well. In terms of screen to body ratio, a metric I quite like to use because it shows how compact the phone is for the screen size. Not the best, 69% screen to body ratio, so that's not quite as high actually, as you'll find out of the 950 XL. That's got quite a bit better screen to body ratio, but not too bad at 69%. Inside we have a Snapdragon 808 processor. That's a hexa-core, so 6-core processor, and it's the same one used in the LG G4 and the Nexus 5X. We also have 3 GB of RAM and a removable 3000 milliamp hour battery. So let me take the back off. This is something you can do, and actually you can't do in a lot of phones these days, so it's quite nice to see a removable back, even if perhaps the back is a little bit cheaper than you get on most devices. So 3000 milliamp hour battery, removable. In fact, I could just take that out, but I don't want to turn it off. And also a micro SD card slot there with up to 200 GB capacity. It supports up to 200 gigabytes, so that's really, really useful. So batteries removable, back's removable, expandable storage, all ticks that we're not really seeing as much of in Android phones. So that's very positive. Clicks on like so. So as well as having micro SD support, this has 32 gigabytes of built-in storage, which is great, and it's the only option you get, but you can expand it with that SD card, so that's great. As well as that, we have nano SIM, we have USB 3.1 Type-C at the bottom here, and I've plugged it in, and you can see here, this is the Type-C cable, so it's a bit blurry. Let's try and get it in focus, and as you can see, it is completely reversible. That plugs in like so, and it's a little bit stiff, and like so. So no more faffing around, no more fumbling with getting it the right way. So it's great to see we've got the most recent USB-C, Type-C. If we look around the device, we've got the volume rockers on the right-hand side, along with a power button and a dedicated camera button. So if I press the camera button, it opens the camera app pretty much immediately. So that's great. It just takes a couple of seconds. Let's try that again. It's about 1.5 seconds. That's very impressive there. On the back, we have the new camera, which Microsoft call the Pure View, which carries on from the older Lumia cameras. This is a 20 megapixel camera with an f1.9 aperture and a LED flash to the side. This is the speaker. This is the only speaker on the device, if we can get the light to it. So with no front-facing speakers, unfortunately, just one position here, which is actually a bit of an odd position, if I'm honest. It doesn't. It's usually either at the bottom left or on the front or on the base. I've never seen one there, but we'll obviously test the quality of that in the full review. Along with that, the camera supports optical image stabilization, which is great, as well as 1080p 60 and 4K 30 video formats, video resolutions. So all very top-end specs, all very flagship, and so far, I'm very impressed with how this looks and feels. The thing is, though, Microsoft phones have always felt very fast, even when they had the really old hardware and they weren't sort of keeping up with the top-end Android and iPhones. The software always felt fast, so pretty much like the latest iPhones and latest Android phones, you can't really tell much difference in speed just by flicking around the home screen, because they've always been very fast. Obviously, this is a Quad HD phone, so it's pushing way more pixels, so the fact that it's still very fast and very smooth is a testament to the power of it and the Snapdragon 808 and the 3 gigs of RAM. But obviously, we'll have to test the browser speed, some intensive games, in the full review. So my first impression is just holding it and using it like this. Actually, it doesn't feel quite as premium as I initially thought by looking at it. I think it looks a bit nicer than it feels. This is definitely sort of a bit of a almost rubbery plastic, not particularly premium. I think it looks really nice. I think that actually looks quite smart, and the black, it looks quite professional looking, almost understated. Doesn't feel the nicest. It feels quite a bit like the Nexus 5X actually in the hand, with a similar sort of back. So if you've used the Nexus 5X or you've seen one or you like it, this is actually quite similar to that, I think, in my opinion. So that's a positive, because I think I really like that phone. And also the fact that the back is a little bit rubbery plastic. It is obviously just plastic, all of this, which keeps the weight down, as I say, 150 grams. It means it's actually quite grippy as well, so you may not want to put a case on it. One thing to note is the camera is slightly protruding. Only very, very slightly, but of course it only does need to be slightly in order to be an issue. Maybe an issue is a strong word, but you might have to watch that lens doesn't get scratched. You may want to put a case on it, but yeah, not as proud as the iPhone or the Galaxy S6, for example, but just a little bit off. So in the full review, I'm going to cover the battery life, see how good that is. I'll also compare it to the larger 950 XL, which I do have, and we'll see which one's better, because the XL does have a slightly bigger battery, but of course a slightly bigger screen as well. I'll also test the camera, and we'll do some speed tests, find out whether the XL is too big, which one you should get, this one or the XL, 5.2 versus 5.7 inches. And finally, the biggest concern people have about these Windows phones is the Windows Store, the apps, and basically getting an idea of, coming into 2016, what the Windows App Store is like. A couple of last things to mention is that this does support the Microsoft Dock, which has all that continuum stuff. If you've not heard about that, basically you can dock this into an optional accessory Microsoft Dock, display dock, which has HDMI out and things and bits and pieces, and you can plug that into a monitor, and basically you can turn your phone into a bit of a desktop PC, running slightly more desktop versions of Microsoft first-party apps like Word and Mail and the Store and Outlook and things. So that's something I'll cover in the future. This is really just a phone unboxing, and I'll have a phone review. But that is maybe sort of useful to you to know that this and the XL both support this latest Continuum software from Microsoft. So that's quite exciting. Of course, this also has Cortana, so I'll be interested to see how that stacks up against Google Voice and Siri. And also, finally, it has the Windows Hello iris scanning technology. So the front 5 megapixel camera doubles as a iris scanner, so you can unlock your phone using your retina, basically, your eyes. So that'll be interesting to test in the review as well. So thank you very much for watching. This has been my unboxing and first look at the brand new Microsoft Lumia 950. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll catch you again on the Tech Chat.